Let's get ready to jump into it, y'all. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad to see y'all jumping on because I'm excited. I know we got a lot to go over. We had a great call last week, and we had some quizzes this week we want to get into. And I'm gonna turn it over to Barbara so we can jump into the get going and jump into the lesson. So over to you, Barbara.
All right. Here is our disclaimer for Futures Commodities Trading Group. It says trading and investing carries a high level of risk. You could lose some or all of your investments. Trading commodities or any other financial instrument may not be suitable for all investors. Before deciding to trade, you should carefully consider your investment objectives, level of experience, and risk appetite. We accept no liability for any losses or damages you may incur. This means that you alone are responsible for your actions in any trading or investing activity.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Let's get into our lesson 7. And we always get started by talking about quizzes that we might have had throughout the week. And I know at least 2, maybe 3. But Barbara, can you grab them? And let's go over these quizzes and make sure everybody got the clarity on what we went over this week.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So the first quiz is, we had a very successful and wealthy businessman and professional trader who gave us a lot of nuggets on the call yesterday. What was 3 of his most important tips for us? A, watch the news. B, follow the rules. C, treat your trading like a hobby. D, emotional discipline. E, study the charts. F, always have a stop loss. G, none of the above. H, all of the above.
Man, I went all the way down to H, Barbara.
Oh. Yeah, you had a lot of them. That's the most I've ever seen, I think.
I got happy with the alphabet then. Okay. So, do we need to read this again? Did y'all get that? Anybody want to give us 3 of the three tips that we was given last week?
I said B, D, and F.
Come again, Jamal?
B as in Bravo, D as in Delta, F as in Foxtrot.
Okay.
And those were
Barbara,
followed.
See what those tips were, Barbara?
I don't know if he's right or not, but he knows the phonetic alphabet. Congratulations.
His answer was B, follow the rules. D, emotional discipline. And F, always have a stop loss.
Awesome. Okay. Actually, I gave y'all 4 of them, so you wouldn't have a problem with getting at least 3 of them. But I think I listed 4 and just asked for 3. But great job, Jamal. Great job.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. John.
What was one more in that list that I gave that Jamal didn't mention?
E, study the charts.
Yeah.
E, study the charts. Now, that was another main one, big one that I left out on purpose because I wanted us to talk about it on the call. So I didn't give this as an option. But there was another tip that Eric talked about multiple times. Matter of fact, put a lot of emphasis on. He kind of started out the call with that. And I wanted to know who remembers what that one was. Anybody remember the main one that he kept speaking about that we talk about a lot?
Did you take anything out of this closet today?
No, that wasn't the right answer.
I think she's unmuted.
Michael Amon. Michael Amon. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Oh,
I
what's
was-
up, my brother? Glad to have you on the call. So anybody know what that one tip I'm mentioning that I'm talking about that Eric talked about multiple times on the call? He put emphasis on it.
Was
He
it having to
started out,
stop? Oh, go ahead.
and I'm gonna give y'all a hint. Let me
Never-
give you a hint.
Never
Let me
not
give you a
having
hint.
an
Emotional.
exit strategy?
Have a
Let me give you.
system.
Let me give you a hint. Let me give you a hint of what this something Eric mentioned multiple times, and this something that he's very successful at in life. So I shared with you all what what Eric does as a family. So that's a hint. What is something he kept stressing about making sure that we do?
He has a family business.
Okay,
Treat it like,
So, yeah.
go ahead, tell him, Johnny B. Help him out, Johnny B.
treat it like a business.
Treat it like a business. It was the one, if not the most main point Eric kept emphasizing, kept stressing. Treat this like a business. I left that out of the choices on purpose so we could talk about it. But that's the main one, and not we always talk about that when we talk about our trading journey, our trading career. We want to treat it like a business. And the reason I left that out just to talk about, because I think, Zul, I think you asked about this before about when we talk about treating it like a business, how does that look like for some people? And you heard me talk about the fact that we thought we were treating it like a business. And at least I did. But when I really got a chance to see, what Eric was doing, and his cousin also was trained with us, Cornell, we call him Junior, but Junior was also trained with us. But the reason that I say we thought we was treating it like a business, for me, treating it like a business was making sure I wasn't spending all my profits, making sure I leave profits in my account to be able to continue to grow my account, to take advantage of more trades, to make sure I, was serious about the fact, okay, whatever trade I got into, I considered myself in that business at that time. And that's what, I thought and considered to be me treating it like a business. Until one day I was talking to Junior. Matter of fact, I sat down with Eric one night and had no idea the level of what he had took to when he said treating this like a business. I mean, I was blown away. So Eric, one of these guys that has a vision board. Matter of fact, 2 vision boards, and that's something he really big on about having a vision board. And he had, his dreams, his goals. He had plans. He had things mapped out that I hadn't even thought about doing, and he knew exactly when he wanted to be able to pay himself from this business, where he wanted the business to be, by month after month, quarter after quarter, and what he had a plan for what he was going to be doing, month after month. It was just mind blowing to me. I'm thinking, I'm treating this like a business, and he had a full blown plan drawn out of how he was treating this like a business for real. I was like, whoa. And then I got a chance to sit down with Junior, Eric's cousin, and he had took it to even more a deeper level than what Eric had did. And I wish I would have been thinking to get him to kind of share a little bit but that's okay. When we in Arizona, those of you, I want y'all to pick his brain and really find out how he really treats this like a business. It'll be eye opening for you when you're trying to get your career set up. And I just wanted to point out, that's why you heard him kept talking about make sure you get the business set up, make sure you're treating it and operating it just like a business. And I just remember the day of seeing his vision boards, and I was blown away at the stuff that he had already in place on how he was gonna actually be operating his trading business. And it's something he really is treating it like a business. He's not just saying it. So I just want to point out one thing that I left out on those choices was make sure you treat it like a business. All right. What else
Hey,
did we have, Barbara? John,
just-
you want to add something?
Yeah, I want to ask you a question. How much time did he say he spent a day on his business originally? Does anybody remember what he said? No. Something rang out about 2 hours. And so here's my question. If you had a business, would you go to work every day? Or just, I ain't going in today. I'll open up tomorrow. Okay. And so we have some time issues that we deal with. What time does the night session close on a lot of our markets?
A lot of the markets close at 5. A lot of them do.
On the grains at 7.
7, yeah.
Okay. What time does it open back up? Come on, folks. We've gone over this a million times.
Michael Amon said 2 a.m.
Okay.
You might not have the time, the trading hours memorized yet.
Okay, let's talk Central. The time is always on Central Standard Time, right? That's when Chicago opens up. It's 8:30, right? So the question is, if I woke up in the morning and spent a couple hours seeing what the market did the night before, right, and watch it close, make my plan for when it opens back up. A lot of people say, I don't want to do this because I don't want to spend all my time sitting in front of a computer working, which you don't have to. But you can sure gain a lot of information based on what happened on the night session and how it opens in the morning session. Okay. So just a thought. CNBC opens at 3 in the morning internationally, and you can see what the markets are doing on a lot of stuff, like stocks and, international stuff between 3 and, 8:30. Not suggesting you wake up in the morning that early. But all I'm saying is that if we're treating it like a business, and we're looking at the markets and we're looking at what's going on, we can do that in the morning. And then we can go about our rat killing after that. So, sorry, Southern term. That was my input.
All right. Appreciate you there, Johnny B. Now, I know we had some more quizzes, but I just thought about, I always end up telling y'all about phone calls I get throughout the week because I love the fact that, I get these phone calls. And y'all know I always keep asking, do y'all have any questions? Are y'all clear? Because I know there's questions out there. And I really want you to ask the questions on the call because I know somebody else got the same question. But I don't mind you calling me and we can talk about the questions, you have. That's not what I'm saying. But I wish we could talk about them on the call because I know other people have the question. But if I can't talk about this, say something in the chat because because I know you're on the call. But I got a phone call, and she was saying, I'm trying to understand what V was talking about. She said, V said that something about you and Eric losing a lot of money on the trade. And there was a lesson 3 video that's her favorite video. And I'm trying to find the video. What video is she talking about? And what trade is she talking about that y'all lost all this money on? And I try to be transparent with everything I do, period. And I don't have a problem. I want y'all to know that. I don't have a problem, and Eric doesn't either. I don't have a problem with coming on here and sharing with you all. Like Johnny B said, we talk about the wins all the time. But I'm not embarrassed. I don't have any feelings about the fact that I can openly talk to y'all and share with you all that we had a trade where I lost and gave back all that money. And I'm not embarrassed about it. Matter of fact, like Eric said, I learned from it. But yeah, I did have a trade where I had that kind of profit. And not knowing what we were doing, I gave all that money back to the market. That's why we doing these calls. I want you not to do the same thing that we did. But the video that she was talking about, I get V if she can to put that into the group, because I know you've been trying to find it. But go ahead, Barbara. Let's go on to the next one.
Dr. Melba, did you want to get it? Did you have the quizzes? Okay, she may not be available.
Sure, I can get them.
Okay, go ahead.
Absolutely.
What do we have
First
next, Dr.
quiz.
Melba?
The first quiz says, you don't need a brokerage account in order to trade futures. A, true, B, false, C, maybe, D, all of the above, E, none of the above. You don't need a brokerage account in order to trade futures.
All right. Somebody dying to answer this question. Come on, jump on out there and answer this.
That would be false.
False?
Yes.
All right. Anybody got something different?
Hmm.
Nobody? And I want to tell y'all, I love it when y'all come in and start answering the quiz. I can tell when people trying to make up their mind what they think the answer is. I love it. So the answer is false. We don't need a brokerage account.
That's what I think. I could be wrong. I've been wrong on a lot of them, Delvin.
Well, let me ask you, those of you who have an account, you have an account through a brokerage house, through a brokerage firm, right?
Correct.
And that's
Yes.
how you're able to trade futures, right?
Correct.
Are we trading within the regulated space?
Yes.
We need a brokerage account. We have to have an account through a regulated licensed brokerage house in order to trade futures, right?
Yes.
Yes, we do. We do
Yes, we
need a
do.
brokerage account. We have to have a brokerage account in order to trade futures. We have to trade futures through a licensed brokerage house. Actually, to be honest with you, I didn't make this one up. My broker gave me this quiz for y'all. We were just on the phone talking, and I said, "Man, yeah, I'm trying to think of a quiz for the group." And he gave me this quiz for you, and I thought it was a good one. Yes, we do have to open it up a futures account, and it needs to be through a licensed brokerage house. So we have to make sure we open up a futures account through a licensed brokerage, and this is a regulated market. So if you are opening up account and it's not a licensed future brokerage house, that will be an issue. So yes, we do have to have a licensed brokerage house that we get our account through. And y'all hear me all the time saying my broker, and I want to just say, I say that, but me and Johnny B got the same broker. Actually, me, Johnny B, and Joshua are at the same brokerage house, but me and Johnny B have the same broker. So I say my broker, but it's our broker. All right. But great job. We do have to have a account through a licensed brokerage house. All right, Dr. Melville.
Second quiz question. If your order is filled and you sell a futures contract, your position in the market is A, long the market, B, on the sideline, C, short the market, D, all of the above, E, none of the above. If your order is filled and you sell a futures contract, your position in the market is
Let's go.
C.
What's the answer?
I said C. C.
Can you remember what C was, Dooley?
Short the market.
Short the market.
That's if you're selling. Short the market.
Anybody got something different from what Dooley had? Awesome. That's correct. Short the market. If we sell a contract or 2 contracts or 5 contracts, doesn't matter the number. If we sell first, that means that we're trading the market down. We short the market. If we buy first, that means we're trading the market up. That means we're long the market. Remember my post I posted about the week trade? I said that I sold 2. I'm short 2 week contracts. That means that I was short 2 week contracts. That means I'm trading the market down in that case. So the answer is short the market. When we sell first, we're trading the market down. When we buy first, we're trading the market up. Excellent. Johnny, you got anything before we jump on in? I wanted to look at the chart, man, and go over support and resistance.
No, sir, let's go.
And I want you guys to, Barbara, if you can go to bar chart and let's pull up a chart. And Johnny, you always do such a great job of helping us understand support and resistance on the chart. I want everybody to really pay attention to understanding support and resistance. Very, very important. And we've already talked about support and resistance a couple of classes back. We just briefly touched on it. And Johnny gave us a brief understanding of what support is and what resistance is. And what we can refer to it as. Johnny, you wanna talk to us about that?
Sure, can we go ahead and go to full chart?
Was there a particular one you wanted to go to, Char?
This will work.
Okay.
All of them will work. Okay, so when we talk about support and resistance, there's a lot of terms that they use when they talk about support and resistance and why it happens. And I'll start off with this. Let's go. Let's go ahead. There we go. Sorry. All right. first of all, what happens when the market goes in an uptrend? Typically, it means there's more buyers than sellers, which forces the market up. Conversely, when there are more sellers than buyers, it forces the market down.
Tonight, we are so very.
Okay. Now, when the market starts going up, meaning there's more buyers, when we run out of buyers, it stops. And then it goes the opposite direction. So when we talk about support and resistance, we're talking about, we also use the term ceiling and floor, meaning the market will go down until it hits a floor, and then it'll bounce back up, or may bounce back up until it hits a ceiling. And they're indicated over and over and over again in a chart. Okay. So this is a chart of wheat. Okay. And you'll notice that this high right here, right, was a ceiling. Okay. It hit an all-time high, and then it backed off the opposite direction. Okay. Now, it came down and hit resistance. All right. Now, if you'll notice, it traded back up and didn't hit its ceiling. But to be honest with you, there was a resistance line right here. And then it came down to this resistance level and broke through it. And this became the new resistance. Okay. Right. Again, this is being floor or resistance. So it kept breaking. Now it's changed trends. Why is it changing trend? It's making a lower low and a lower high each go around until it comes down to resistance. This line right here. And notice what happens when it got basically to this line. It hit resistance and then started trying to trade at a sideways trough. Or is it? It's still breaking down. So this is the all-time low. Last week, I think we talked about 50%, or excuse me, how to do 50% retracements. We were looking at high and low, but there's other things that we want to look at the chart, and that is support or the floor and resistance, which would be the ceiling. And you can see them over and over again. So technically here, here, and here, basically, or here, are all resistant lines that it's having a hard time trading through, which it's not doing. Matter of fact, it's breaking down. Okay. And so each time we look at floors. Now, on this chart, would you go to a 1-year chart, please?
Download now for free. At Denny's, the original Grand Slam at $5.99.
Let's see if I can clear my. Come on. Okay. This is a 1-year chart, correct? Okay,
Yes, it's 1 year.
okay. Notice that right now, this is kind of a resistance. And we're going to watch and see if it continues to break through it. Okay. Now, if the market turned and started going back up, where would the first resistance be? And that would be here. And then here. Okay. And we would watch to see if what it does as it goes through resistance again. Now, the only other thing I want to talk about is how do we realize if there's a change? Okay. So as the market starts trading back up, there's resistance points across the board. So what happens when support, okay, now becomes resistance? You'll notice right here, this was support. It traded up, traded back down, and look, then it became resistance. Okay, so you look at these points on the chart to kind of determine what your support and resistance is to see if it breaks through it and starts a new trend the opposite direction.
Johnny B,
Yes, sir.
if you don't mind, I want to make sure everybody sees and understand what you just pointed out. How the support over on the left now is resistance over on the right. I know you made that point, but I want to make sure they actually really see that. When you see that the support over where the line he drove on the left, and then you see the line over on the right where now the market tried to trade up to that level, and now that same level was now resistance. That's what Johnny is talking about resistance and support can turn around and be the opposite depending on how the market starts to trade. That same area was support when the market was in a downtrend. And then when the market was trying to trade up, that same area was now resistance. And this is something that happens, like you said, all the time, but this is a great example of seeing how support and resistance can work in both ways. I just wanted to make sure everybody was seeing that, Johnny, because that was something excellent for them to see to make sure they understood.
Both sides even look like they're identical to each other. They're just inverted.
Yes.
It's so ironic that I just noticed that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So are you saying that if it goes through the ceiling, at that point, if it had, it would keep going?
And I'll let you answer that, Delvin, because I don't want to get ahead of us.
What was the question again, Norma Jean?
That the ceiling that it's hitting, if it had broken through, would that indicate that it would keep going?
No, it would indicate that support or that resistance didn't hold. And then if we had a trend line on the chart, you would see that it will be breaking that trend line. But basically what it's saying and showing you that here's support and here's resistance. And you can see right on the chart that support and resistance is the same level, but like Dr. Melvin pointed out, at one point it was support, then the other point it was resistance. But if it was a trade through it, we can't say whether or not it's going to keep going, but we know that support or resistance level is a trouble area on the chart where the market could have trouble trading through. And you'll see where it hit that area and that support held. And then it hit
Yes.
that area again and that resistance held. But what he's saying is this is a point where you're gonna see trouble for the market to trade through. And you're waiting to see if it's gonna trade through it or not. And in this case, we can see where support held. And then in this case, you see where resistance held. But actually over to the left, we actually traded down through support and then came back up. But it's a trouble area on the chart. That's what this support and resistance is. It's an area where the market has trouble trading through resistance. So it's resisting. And in this particular case on this chart, you get a chance to see resistance and support at the same level, but acting opposite on opposite sides. So it's not saying that if it trades through it that we saying it's gonna keep going after it trades through it, because we don't know what it's gonna do. In this case over to the left, you see where that support line Johnny B had. It traded down through support and then it came back up. It just traded through the support, but it didn't keep going. Do you see over where that line was drawn, Norma Jean?
Yes, sir, I do. Thanks.
Yeah. See where we traded through support, but we didn't keep going, came back up actually.
Got it.
Can I ask a question, please? Where are the 3 hits that you all talk about? Is it
3 hits. That's
right?
when we look at the trend line and see that
Uh-huh.
the market has traded and hit the trend line.
And can you show here where the 3 hits is an example of it? Is that even?
Yeah.
is that-
Yeah, you can do that if you want to do that. Barbara, can you get the trend line? And you want to do a 6-month or 1
I mean,
year
is
chart?
this appropriate question for this right now? If not, then
Yeah, we can show it. We can show it. It's no problem. It's gonna hit the trend line multiple times.
Come on down a little bit more.
It's actually gonna hit the trend line multiple times on both sides. Go ahead, Johnny.
Well, you're doing a great job. So again, once it established the downtrend, okay, and so now we're going to follow this trend until it gives us a reason not to follow the trend. Now, I was going to go back if you don't mind, can we go to
How many hits do we have here, Johnny?
Yeah.
I mean,
actually, if you pull that top line down a little bit more, you'll see there's three on both sides. Boom, right there. So we've got three lower highs that hit the trend line, and we've got 3 lower lows that's hit the trend line. So that's an established trend.
is that not 4 within that?
Well, the first one is the start. Okay, so that's where you start the trend. 1, 2, 3, and then on the top there's 3. 1, no, yeah, 1.
Mr. Johnny,
Yes,
I think she's saying, is that not 4? That question to me means she's thinking that it's only supposed to be 3. Possibly.
it could be many hits on the trend. We want to see at least 3, but
There
it
you
can be
go.
20.
Thank
Is that what
you.
you're saying, Dr. Melvin?
Correct. I think now she understands. Yes.
Yeah, but where Johnny was saying that it's 4, I mean, it's 3 that he's saying within this. I'm seeing 4, is that not right?
No, that's,
It's
you're
a whole
okay.
bunch.
If you
But
see
this is
four,
helping, thank you.
yeah, if you see 4, it's okay. But the bottom line is it's hitting lower highs and lower lows. And it's touched the trend line 3 times
Thank
at
you.
least. Okay.
And keep in mind, this is what you're trying to see, what you're watching for to see a trend being established. Okay. So the 3 hits on the trend line is when we are watching the trend being established. But like I said, it can continue to keep hitting the trend line multiple times. The 3 hits letting us know that it's established a trend line. And now it's in the trend. Over to you, John. I think you wanted to show us something.
What I wanted to do was I want to go to a 2-year chart, 5-year chart, whatever. Okay. So in 2 years, we broke an all-time 2-year low. Okay. So the question is, are we getting close to the bottom? Okay. Are we getting close? Okay. I'm sorry. Let me back up. In other words, support and resistance on a 1-month chart or a 1-week chart is different than the support and resistance on a multi-year chart, but we also know that there's a very good possibility that if it hits an all-time low, will it reverse? I'm also thinking, if it hit an all-time high, or will support and resistance on a multi-year chart be support and resistance that we can identify at a current chart? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so this is why we kind of go back and look to find out, what is the all-time high? Because you'll find charts, maybe between a 6-month and a year that we're trading at an all-time high, and we've had a short. We're kind of working on a 50% retracement on a 1-year chart, and we hit it. Well, it may break down and go down to support that was earlier in the year, or conversely, on a ceiling, if we break through, we may go find resistance on the chart elsewhere. I want to make sure that makes sense. So we know right now in a multi-year chart, this is going to be resistance. Okay. Or possibly here. So this is why when we do 50% retracements, we do it on we do it on multiple charts. So here would be another resistance, and of course this would be the final resistance if it changed directions. Okay, and we know support is down here somewhere. So that's kind of, I hope that's clear.
Excellent, Johnny B. Excellent. Yeah, you always do a great job, man, of explaining the support resistance on the chart. And it's important that we understand it because we use it so much once we get into looking at our formations. Well, we want to be clear about being able to recognize here's support, here's resistance. So excellent job, Johnny B. Are you through with the chart as far as showing that? You want to
Yes,
open
sir.
it up, or did you want to show anything else?
No, sir, I'm good.
Right, man. Thank you. So let's open up any questions, any comments. on support and resistance.
Can we see a chart going in the opposite direction? Going along?
Chart going along.
Yeah, with support and resistance.
Yeah, let's look at one. Well, we got cocoa, cotton, gold. The three that come to mind right now that I know are bullish. Silver as well.
Feeder cattle.
Which one you want me to go to?
I
Your,
guess cocoa's been in an uptrend for a while.
yeah.
Did you say feeder cattle?
Feeder cattle also, so.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, goodness. So you've got an uptrend. You've definitely got it. And it's definitely broke.
What?
Well,
Did this feeder cattle?
I know
Johnny B?
this.
hang on just a second. Okay, so you see it hit resistance here and then broke down and hit support here, which is pretty close. Okay, it came back up and hit resistance and closed for the day or the period. And then it broke through and went up again. So this is now the new resistance. And look where this resistance now became support. Come on, get off of there. When it came back down and hit that mark, it went back up.
Yep.
Is that clear?
Yep. Crystal clear, Johnny B. Hope
Yeah.
does everybody understand that?
Yes.
So we want to make sure we clear. If you're not clear, please let us know if you're not clear.
Go to feeder cattle, if you will.
That was cocoa we were looking at, Barbara.
Yes, that was cocoa.
That must have been a 1 year or 5 year. That wasn't a 6 month, was it?
It was 6 months. Yes, sir.
Oh, wow. Cocoa is trading at an all-time high.
This is a chart that's going to show both. So if you'll notice, this is resistance. All right. This came down to support. Right? It broke through again. Okay. We started a downtrend. Lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. Bloop. Hit resistance and turned back around and went the opposite direction. Okay. We hit resistance. Support became resistance. Okay. It broke through that, came back up again, hit resistance, which was once upon a time support, and broke down. I think if you'll look at this chart, it's easy to see we made a 50% retracement. Now, the question is it going to continue up or change directions? Knowing that this is our new support level, and this being resistance 1, and then this being resistance 2.
Mhm.
Can we go to a 1-year chart? Oops, let me clear my drawings.
Every
Okay.
time you go to a different chart, it's gonna have a whole different look, everybody.
Yeah,
Every
this
time
is
you change the time frame, it's gonna have a different look.
yeah, this is a 1-year chart. Look at resistance. Look at support, which is now resistance again. Can you look at a 2-year or better?
You want 2-year or 5-year?
Let's go 2-year. Okay. Well, this is go to 5 as well. Okay. These are numbers I know quite well, because when you've got feeder cattle trading at $1 a pound or less, a dollar per hundredweight, or $1 a pound, I mean, we're struggling. Okay. And right now, these prices are extremely good for the cattle producer. Okay. So the reality is, so if I was I'm a producer, so quite frankly, I would be looking really, really hard at selling a contract or multiple contracts to hedge my position with my cattle. That way, if the market breaks down, I've protected my income on my cattle or on my calf crop. I just want y'all to know how that works when producers come in to sell. Okay. All right. I should stop here because I can
Awesome, brother.
go off back into the charts, but okay.
Great job, Johnny B. Awesome, awesome. So once again, do we have any questions, comments before we end? So that means everybody's clear on this, right?
Yeah,
Everybody
it's very, very clear if I can comment.
Absolutely, you can comment, Michael. Good to see you, man.
Thank you very much. And I want to thank Sora for inviting me on tonight. Right, I did not have the links before.
Thank you, Thor. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, we want to make sure everybody clear on this, man. This is something that is very important when it comes to looking at the chart, support and resistance, and we want to be clear about it.
These are some very important foundational principles for anybody who's getting involved in trading. And these are the terms that they need to understand, the whole concept of what is a support line, what is a resistance line, right? And then also looking at the trend lines there. It's also important to know when you have a diagonal trend line. where it intersects a line of support or resistance. Because as they say, the old traders rule, the trend is your friend till the end.
That's
So as you
right.
say there, you can look at a trend, of a diagonal trend line, you can hit it 20 times, but you continue to look until it crosses, because you never know when it could go break through that pattern. But it's important to understand what patterns to look for. And these are the building blocks of all of that. So I really like the way you have brought it across simply with the illustrations. Both Brian, but Johnny B and yourself. It's an awesome session, and I'm really glad I was able to come on. And I'm also trying to help the community to understand these principles as well. So I've invited a couple on the call as well too.
Awesome. Thank you, man. Thank you. Appreciate that. I tell you, one that we used to say, Michael, we used to say, the trend is your friend until it bends.
Till it bends. Okay, cool. That's a nice.
Yeah, that's one we used to say. The trend is your friend until it bends. But awesome, man. Thanks for joining and inviting people on the call, man, because it's something that we we enjoy doing and want to help see people taking advantage of it. So we appreciate that. Actually, we also have a Telegram and a Facebook group where we keep learning throughout the week. We have quizzes that we might post and take throughout the week. We take some quizzes throughout the week to keep learning, even though we wait on Sunday to come on and have a call together. We still learn throughout the week, and we want to invite everybody to be able to join our Telegram group. It's more active than the Facebook group, so we always encourage everybody to join the Telegram group. And
awesome. Thanks, Barbara.
So Zuli has
Yes.
a question.
Thank you, Jack. Yeah, I just want to comment. It was when I really now get to see the importance of having your trend lines, because it wasn't until I saw the trend lines when Ms. Barbara placed that in one of the examples that before that, when I saw the support and resistance, I always thought like the highest support, so it's highest resistance and the lowest support. But in between, I saw so many that I would say, if I didn't have that the trend lines, that I would say, okay, why didn't we consider that support and resistance, the smaller ones, and why didn't we take that a trade right in there? So I think those are just perfect to be able to mark the trend lines. I just find it so valuable. So I just want to comment on that, because before that I was like, how about that? Well, isn't that a support? Isn't that a resistance? It's smaller ones, but it's like, hey, why can't we trade there? Why aren't we looking at that? So that's what my mind kept going at. So it is very helpful.
It helps you to see that there's so many more on the chart than you would have recognized, right?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Excellent observation, Ms. Zuli. That what you saw tonight is going to benefit you when it's time. You can see multiple areas to enter a trade instead of just one area, which is really good that you saw that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Good. Thank you.
Yes. Anybody else? Yeah, great observation.
Delvin, I have a question, but I don't think it's in line with what you taught tonight, because I've been watching a lot of your videos and it's like, okay, I want to ask a question. Each commodity has a average move. I guess it's a daily move. And I was thinking, do you use that to determine your stop loss? Because if